When World Health Energy Holdings Incorporated Technical Analysis. General Overview and Trend. WEN has been trading in a very narrow price range between 0.0001 and 0.0002 over the past 3 months. The stock has shown remarkable stability in terms of price range, with most days closing at either 0.0001 or 0.0002. The most recent price from August 15 closed at 0.0002, which is at the high end of its trading range. Looking at the trend, the stock appears to be in a tight consolidation phase with no clear directional trend. The price has been oscillating between 0.0001 and 0.0002 without establishing a clear upward or downward trend. Price and volume analysis. The price action shows that WEN has been extremely stable in terms of price, with almost no volatility. On August 15, the stock opened at 0.00015 and closed at 0.0002, which represents a move within its normal trading range. Volume has been highly variable, ranging from as low as 1,000 to as high as 13,184,000. The volume on the most recent day was 699,500, which is around the average for this stock. There doesn't appear to be a clear correlation between volume and price movements, likely due to the extremely narrow price range. Moving averages EMA and SMA. Looking at the moving averages, short-term averages like the 5-day SMA and EMA are both at 0.0002, identical and at the current price level. Medium-term averages like the 10-day and 20-day SMA and EMA are all the same and at the current price level. Longer-term averages like the 50-day and 63-day SMA and EMA are also the same and at the current price level. The fact that all moving averages are identical and at the current price level indicates a complete lack of trend and extreme consolidation. This is highly unusual and suggests that the stock has been trading in an extremely narrow range for an extended period. Technical indicators. Trend indicators show that MACD at 0.0 is neutral, with a signal line at 0.0 and a histogram at -0.0, indicating no momentum. ADX at 64.4197 and ADXR at 58.9566 are relatively high, which is surprising given the lack of price movement. This might be a distortion due to the extremely narrow price range. A rune up at 100.0 and a rune down at 100.0 both show maximum values, with a rune oscillator at 0.0 indicating a lack of trend. Momentum indicators show RSI at 52.1216 is neutral, around the midpoint. Williams R at -0.0 indicates overbought conditions, but this might be misleading given the price range constraints. MFI at 21.9736 is in oversold territory, suggesting potential buying pressure. CCI at 29.4118 is neutral. ROC at 0.0 shows no momentum. Volatility indicators show Bollinger Bands with the upper band at 0.0002, middle at 0.0002, and lower at 0.0002. All bands are identical, which is extremely unusual and indicates a complete lack of volatility. ATR at 0.0001 indicates very low volatility. Volume indicators show Chaikin oscillator at 4740.803, 1142 is positive, indicating accumulation. OBV at -41419.895, 0 is negative, suggesting selling pressure. These conflicting signals make it difficult to determine the direction based on volume. Linear regression. While not explicitly provided in the data, the linear regression trend would be almost flat, given the extremely narrow price range and lack of directional movement. Next trading day opening prediction. Given the extremely stable price action and the fact that the stock closed at 0.0002, which is the high end of its range, it's likely that the next trading day could open around the same level, between 0.00015 and 0.0002. The lack of volatility and trend makes it difficult to predict any significant movement. A reasonable prediction would be an opening around 0.0002, with little change expected unless there is a significant catalyst. Support and resistance analysis. Based on the data, the immediate and only significant resistance is at 0.0002, which is the high end of the trading range. The immediate and only significant support is at 0.0001, which is the low end of the trading range. The current price of 0.0002 is at resistance, suggesting that the stock could face some selling pressure at this level. However, given the history of the stock oscillating between these two levels, it could just as easily remain at this level or drop back to 0.0001. Based on the current price's distance from support and resistance, intraday movements are likely to be minimal, confined within the 0.0001 to 0.0002 range. Possible high and low values based on ATR14. The ATR14 value is 0.0001. This suggests that the average daily range is about 0.0001. The possible high for the next session would be 0.0002 plus 0.0001, which equals 0.0003. The possible low for the next session would be 0.0002 minus 0.0001, which equals 0.0001. However, given the extremely stable price action and the fact that the stock has rarely moved outside the 0.0001 to 0.0002 range, it's more likely that the price will remain within this established range. Possible scenarios. In a bullish scenario, if the stock breaks above the 0.0002 resistance, it could potentially move higher. However, given the long history of trading within this narrow range, such a breakout would likely require a significant catalyst and could be met with skepticism. In a neutral scenario, which is the most likely, the stock continues to oscillate between 0.0001 and 0.0002 with no clear trend. This has been the established pattern for an extended period. In a bearish scenario, if the stock drops below 0.0001, it could potentially move lower. However, like the bullish scenario, this would likely require a significant catalyst and would be a departure from the established trading pattern. Conclusion. When has been trading in an extremely narrow range between 0.0001 and 0.0002 for an extended period, showing no clear trend. The technical indicators mostly reflect this lack of trend and volatility. The stock is at a critical juncture at the high end of its trading range, but without a clear catalyst, it's likely to continue oscillating within this range. Traders should watch for a sustained move above 0.0002 or below 0.0001 for a potential change in the established pattern. Given the lack of volatility and trend, this stock may not be suitable for short-term trading unless a significant catalyst emerges.